How many times have you heard, "Be kind, and the world will respond in kind"? Now think, how many times have you shown kindness and ended up feeling drained, deceived, or even betrayed? Stoicism teaches us not to abandon kindness, but to strip it of illusions. Kindness without wisdom is not strength, it's vulnerability. The habit of being nice can turn your life into a never-ending sacrifice. This article explores 10 reasons why kindness can destroy you and how Stoicism helps you preserve yourself. 1. You become convenient, not valuable. At first glance, what's wrong with being convenient? You're always helping, listening, avoiding conflict, adapting. People smile, thank you. Everything seems fine until you say no. Try refusing once and watch how quickly the warmth and friendliness disappear. Because they didn't value you, your qualities, or your ideas, they valued your function. You were useful but not important, pleasant but not respected. That's a dangerous illusion. In many cases, kindness without clear boundaries turns a person into an emotional servant. They can't say no, can't show strength, can't be themselves. They become a shadow in relationships, an employee to be used, a friend only contacted when someone needs to vent or shift responsibility. The problem? Convenience doesn't inspire admiration, it breeds habit. People don't appreciate tap water, it's always there. But if you're a source of strength, dignity, and principle, you're noticed, even if not everyone likes you. The Stoic perspective. Stoicism teaches that one must live in accordance with nature, and nature doesn't tolerate distortion. Being convenient means living by others' expectations, not your own truth. That violates the core Stoic rule. Be internally free, in harmony with yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you act against reason and duty just to please others, you've already lost part of yourself." Kindness without inner backbone is a form of self-denial. You're valued not for who you are, but for how well you serve others' purposes. In real life, at work, you always take extra tasks because someone has to, but no one thanks you. In relationships, you constantly yield, afraid of being too harsh, and end up being taken for granted. In friendships, you listen, support, solve others' problems, but when you need help, there's no one around. Stoic solution. Stop being convenient. Start being honest. Convenience is a flimsy suit stitched from fear. Honesty takes courage. It's not always pleasant, but it's always liberating. Build inner resilience. As Epictetus taught, if you want to be free, stop trying to please those who are not even masters of themselves. Ask yourself, is my kindness a sign of strength or fear? If it's fear, it's time to set boundaries. If it's strength, you won't be nice. You'll be respected. And the gap between the two? That's the Stoic path to real mature kindness. 2. You waste time on other people's problems. Kindness can quietly become a trap. You start living other people's lives. You get pulled into their conflicts, problems, and goals. You agree to help because it's the right thing, or they'll be upset if I don't. It seems harmless, just a quick favor. But drop by drop, hour by hour, you give away your life. Stoicism teaches, time is our most precious resource, and it's not unlimited. Seneca wrote in on the shortness of life, "People do not value their time until they have none left." Every time you take on something that doesn't align with your values or goals, you're scattering your energy. Whether it's helping a coworker who repeatedly fails their duties, or a friend who endlessly complains about a relationship they refuse to change, you're giving away focus, control, and life that could have been spent becoming stronger, wiser, freer. Stoic solution. Before every yes, ask yourself, is this truly my concern? Is it within what's under my control? If not, say no, kindly but firmly. Your time is your responsibility. If you don't protect it, no one will. Backfire 3. You don't know how to say no. One of the most destructive effects of blind kindness is the inability to say no. You're asked, you agree. You're hinted at, you already act. You're not asked, you still offer help. Just in case. You fear saying no because you fear seeming selfish, rude, or cold. But the price of that fear is your freedom. Every yes said out of politeness, when you wanted to say no, is a betrayal of yourself. You agree to awkward meetings, pointless conversations, extra duties, and then feel resentment. But toward whom? Yourself. Because you knew you didn't want to, but you didn't say no. Stoicism teaches honesty and clarity. Epictetus said, "Let your words be straight, like the path of a wise man." Saying no isn't aggression, it's care for your boundaries. It's a sign of maturity. Only the strong can say no without guilt. Stoic solution. Before agreeing, pause. Ask yourself, do I say yes because I want to, or because I'm afraid to say no? If it's fear, it's time to learn to refuse. Start small. Practice a firm but respectful no. Soon you'll feel your strength return. 4. You suppress anger and accumulate resentment. People who strive to be kind often avoid expressing negative emotions. They believe anger is bad, ugly, and destructive to relationships. So they hold it in, stay silent, and endure. But the problem is, anger doesn't disappear. It just goes deeper and turns into resentment. Resentment is unspoken anger. It's a choice you didn't make. It's the no you never said, the needs you buried, the swallowed words. And the longer you stay silent, the heavier it gets. Stoicism doesn't teach suppression of feelings. It teaches control over them. Anger is a natural reaction, but you decide what to do with it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You don't have to become a victim of emotion if you don't give it power over you." Stoic solution. Don't suppress, become aware. Be honestly angry. Admit to yourself, this bothers me. This crosses my boundaries. Then act with calm, clarity, and firmness, without aggression. True kindness doesn't exclude anger. It includes respect, both for others and for yourself. 5. You lose respect. Paradoxically, the more you try to be good to everyone, the less people respect you. Why? Because people intuitively sense you're afraid to say no. You're ready to yield, agree, stay silent, just to keep the peace. And that isn't seen as kindness, it's seen as weakness. Stoics taught that respect starts from inner dignity. People respect you when you respect yourself. When you follow your principles, not other people's expectations. When you're kind, but don't let yourself be manipulated. Seneca wrote, "Let your soul be the kind you would admire in another." Stoic solution. Don't be afraid to be firm. Set boundaries. Stand for your values. Let people respect you for your strength, not your submissiveness. Remember, respect is not the result of kindness. It's the result of integrity. 6. You attract toxic people. Those who can't say no become magnets for people who live off others. Manipulators, chronic victims, complainers. They quickly recognize the kind person who, out of guilt, duty, or habit, will tolerate everything. They'll come again and again to drain your energy, time, and resources. You think you're helping, but in reality, you're enabling them not to change. Because they know you're always there, you won't refuse. So why take responsibility? Epictetus warned, "Beware of those who complain, but don't want to change. They don't seek help, they seek someone to use." Stoic solution: develop discernment. Help those who are willing to grow. To others, offer not a solution, but a mirror. Boundaries are not cruelty. They are acts of self-love and respect for others. 7. You drain your own resources. Kindness without limits is a fast track to emotional, physical, and mental burnout. You help, listen, comfort, do, even when you're exhausted. You think, this is what strong people do. But your body and mind are not infinite. Sooner or later, you burn out. Seneca wrote, "He who constantly gives eventually ends up empty-handed." You can't pour from an empty cup. To truly help others, you must be in a good state yourself, which means taking care of yourself, resting, and knowing when to stop. Stoic solution: put yourself first, not out of egoism, but out of understanding your nature. A Stoic knows strength comes from inner balance. Guard your energy. It is your main tool for serving the world. 8. You avoid conflict at all costs. Kind people often fear conflict. In a conflict, someone might get hurt, angry, or distance themselves. So you smooth things over, stay silent, agree, even when everything inside says no. But the price is internal conflict with yourself. The Stoics taught not to fear truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Truth never harms the just." Conflict isn't always destruction. Sometimes it's cleansing, clarifying, transformative. Avoiding conflict doesn't save relationships. It slowly corrodes them from within. Stoic solution: learn to be direct. Speak honestly, respectfully, and firmly. Conflict in the name of truth is a sign of maturity. It's a choice for authenticity, not the illusion of harmony. 9. You abandon your own desires. Blind kindness can lead to forgetting yourself. You live by others' needs, dreams, and problems, and gradually lose touch with your own desires. You can't even say what you want. You just feel something's missing inside. Seneca said, "If a person doesn't know what harbor he's heading for, no wind will be favorable." Desires aren't enemies. They are part of your nature. Ignore them, and you give up your life. Real kindness begins with self-respect. Stoic solution: listen to yourself. Ask, what do I want? What's important to me? Where are my dreams, goals, and values? Only by knowing yourself can you offer others not crumbs, but abundance. Chapter 10. You become addicted to approval. Being kind often turns into the desire to be liked, to be easygoing, pleasant, understandable. You crave praise. You want to hear, "You're such a good person." And that's a trap, because now you live not as yourself, but as what others expect. Marcus Aurelius reminded, "How much time have you wasted being who others want you to be? And how much being yourself?" Approval is like a drug. There's never enough. It makes you vulnerable, dependent, and manipulable. A Stoic doesn't live for praise. He lives for truth, duty, and virtue. Stoic solution: do good not for likes, not for gratitude. Do it because it aligns with your values. Live by your inner compass. Only then will you become truly free.